The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. I found a way in which I could get not only one pair, but many pairs of eyes. I found crowdsourcing, and I would like to tell you more about it. But let me start from the beginning. Just 3 weeks after I joined Warsaw School of Economics, I started to learn how to fly a plane. From up there, I rediscovered the city I used to live in all my life. I had to learn about subjects such as aviation law, navigation, aircraft engineering. All those experiences and all those activities allowed me to discover what I really wanted to do in life. I used my other passion, photography, to pay for my flying lessons. And all those experiences make us who we really are. A fascination with something might not only be a source of inspiration, but knowledge. Knowledge that can be used years later in circumstances that nobody had planned. Steve Jobs said just this during his commencement speech at Stanford University. Do you know his story? He dropped out of university, and then he was free to take any class he wanted. And he took calligraphy. He started to learn about typeface, about varying the amount of space between letter combinations. He learned what makes great typography great. 10 years later, he applied this knowledge when he was making his Mac. The first computer with beautiful typography. I'm not Steve Jobs, but I dropped out of many classes too. I had other things to do, things much more interesting. I have realized that the educational system wanted to force me to find this one true solution for problems that somebody else had programmed. I felt as I was being educated to become an encyclopedia, or maybe a machine to give answers during regular tests and exams. Well, as a consequence, I became just an average student. And then I went for my first job interview to the World Bank in Washington, D.C. I didn't have much chance. I couldn't offer them good grades. Many others were far better qualified on paper. When they asked me for my experience, I told them my story about my photography, being able to fund my flying lessons. I told them about the different projects and my approach to problem solving. I told them how I was being involved in banking and publishing during my studies in Warsaw, architecture and construction during my studies in Sevilla, in Spain, in printing during my MA in Oxford. I told them how I work hard to find solutions for problems related to marketing, customer experience, supply chain, new product development. And the World Bank, they gave me a job. It was around this time when I started to imagine an online playground, a playground where I could work, collaborate with others like you, and or try to find solutions for different challenges. At that time, I filed this idea in the back of my mind and get on with living. I have 2 children that are a constant source of inspiration, let's say. Watching them play one day, I had a flashback to my days at university, to the push to conform and to learn standard answers. I didn't want them to follow the same routine. I decided that we will take with my wife things into our own hands, and we found families that think like we do. We found mentors with a passion for education, an understanding that is not only about homework, exams, and homework and exams. That is not only about facts and dates, but it's really about linking them logically. It's not about learning scripted answers to find and to answer regular tests. It's about motivating, inspiring, and discovering. Let me give you an example. For 3 months, I worked with my kids to create a yearly calendar. We drew it ourselves, we made a number of prototypes, and when we got it right, we asked a designer to make it nice with us. And on top of days, months, and seasons, like in a normal calendar, we wanted to add the amount of day and night we have during the year. And we managed. Then we added holidays, trips, birthday parties, etc. We had great fun. Today, my kids with other friends, they learn about history, they focus on languages, art, music, scientific experiments, and they have fun. And guess what? They started to make their own prototypes. I will show you one in a second, done by my 8-year-old son. While we were away on business trip, he stayed with his grandma, and he missed his Nintendo. So he made his own one. Have a look. Do you like it? This was 2 weeks ago. And by the way, playing with this prototype is as addictive as playing with the real one. Okay, but let's move on. So 5 years after working for some great employers in the US and the UK, we decided to return back to Poland. We wanted to create our own business. And we found what we love to do. And it was crowdsourcing. The idea is very simple. You take a client's problem, you design a challenge around it, and then you invite people to ask you to help you to generate interesting ideas and solutions. The popular view is that invention, it's a moment of creation. That there is a moment of birth when someone comes up with an idea. The truth is that creativity is cumulative and it's collaborative, and most important, it can involve everybody. With 2 other friends and a great team, we started our own business, and our goal was to allow people to work with us and to work and to collaborate in a search of solutions. No matter whether you were a student who wanted to join a challenge or maybe an employee who wanted their idea to be heard. And we were the first one to introduce crowdsourcing in Poland. A few years ago, we sold our business to EY, and although we were not a startup anymore, we remain true to our values. We live in an era where businesses must embrace change. They must allow collaboration. They must foster co-creation. They must drive innovation internally. Teamwork, flexibility, opportunities are becoming key for employees. Let me give you an example. We were given 2 challenges. One was related to improve a process that was crucial from the client's perspective. The second one was how to engage employees from various divisions to help during peak seasons. What we did, we created a number of challenges, used our methodology, used some thinking tools, which we presented to employees, and we asked them to participate. 55 members generated 208 ideas within a few hours on our crowdsourcing platform. 2 challenges, employees only, and 208 solutions. How is it possible? Well, this is what millennials are. Millennials are tech-savvy, diverse, and connected. Businesses need to understand and need to change their approach to attract them, to retain them, and to maximize their performance at work. Employers that will enable this creativity will win the race for the most talented employees. How to do that? Well, I will tell you what we did. We launched a project called Innovators. What is Innovators? Well, it's part of our crowdsourcing platform, millionu.com. It's a place where people can engage in search for solutions to challenges posted by companies. Does this ring a bell? Yes, this is this online playground. This is my dream come true from my student days. Recently, we launched a challenge. We posted actually a challenge on our platform related to the future of retail in household goods. We chose a methodology, we created, designed a challenge, and we invited people to participate. Guess how many solutions the community generated? 160. 160 solutions which were then filtered, analyzed, and used to make a business strategic decision. The other advantage of those projects is that you can find brilliant coworkers, not necessarily those with best grades, but those with a fresh approach. We teach techniques that allow anybody to become an innovator. Today, our goal is to convince companies that it's worth engaging employees and people outside the organization in a search for solutions. To be honest with you, I haven't found a more precise method proven that enables this creativity, those new pair of eyes called crowdsourcing. Let me give you a piece of advice. Don't get trapped by systems at work, university, or school. Don't do innovation. Innovate in what you do. And remember, rather than seeking for new landscapes, try having new eyes. Thank you.